What is quantum love? Why is real love a quantum love? What is the essence of quantum love? If you want to know real love, you must learn its quantum essence. In this video, you will learn about the origins of love lying in the quantum world. You will understand how to use this knowledge to know false love from true love. And you will also learn about the 4 types of relationships that lead to true quantum love. Love is the most important thing that happens in your life. Love is not just a feeling. It is the foundation of the world, even in the language of science. The famous Dirac equation describing the state of quantum entanglement is called the love formula. It is love that connects the separate parts into one, that maintains the integrity of the world. Love is above matter and energy. It is the reason for the existence of the universe. What is the only sign of quantum love? After all, love comes in many different forms. In terms of who or what we love, there is love between a man and a woman, love for children, love for parents, love for friends, love for places, love for things. There is even love for very intangible things, thoughts and ideas. What do all these different manifestations and types of love have in common? All these kinds of love have one basis, the feeling of oneness with the object of your love. Feel inside yourself the truth of these words. When you love sincerely, you don't separate yourself from the object of your love. You are one. One wants to be next to a beloved, do things together, and share joy and sorrow. Here are all the signs of true love: trust, respect, sincerity, support, responsibility, equality, acceptance, and closeness. The word unity encompasses it all. If it's your favorite thing to do, you dissolve into it. You become that thing, and if, for instance, you love a car, you become a part of it. If you feel unity with the object of your love, you truly love it. That is quantum love, genuine love. Quantum love is based on oneness. Moreover, love is the state of oneness. The greater the oneness, the deeper the love. Your eye becomes blurred. Sometimes in deep love, it dissolves altogether. And when you feel love, you feel the state of oneness. And unity is a quantum state. It is not some groundless fantasy, but a scientific fact. Because in their initial quantum state, elementary particles are inseparable from each other. They are the same. The separate particles of matter are born from the quantum state of unity. That is, quantum unity is the original state of the world, the state of a source. The source of the world is in a state of quantum unity. The primordial, absolute, or divine reality is oneness. God exists in oneness. God's being is oneness. That is why the statement God is love is a perfect truth, because God is oneness and unity is love. From this realization, it becomes clear why it is so enjoyable to bathe in love and so great to love. Because to love someone with all your might is the most joyous feeling in the world. It happens because moments of true love are a touch of the divine state of God's presence. God lives this way as far as our earthly concepts apply to God. To love is to experience genuinely divine sensations. To love truly is to be in a state of oneness. On the other hand, there's a question. Why is it that in our lives, love is almost always closely connected not only with marvelous states of happiness, unity, and bliss, but also with various sufferings? Why does it happen? Because love without suffering is possible only if we learn to love with true divine love. What is true divine love? Divine love has 4 characteristics. 1. Unconditional. God loves you just how you are. No expectations. 2. Limitlessness. God loves everyone, no one more or less. 3. Eternity. God will love you forever. 4. Freedom. God loves you not because he has to, but just because he does. Unconditional, limitless, eternal, and free. Divine love, divine oneness, divine bliss, quantum love. That is what true love is. To love this way is to love truly. Our life's mission is to love truly and to experience this divine feeling to the fullest, except that each of us is not God. However, we carry a piece of God within us. Every human carries divine potential, but we must live countless lives and many incarnations before it unfolds. We do not have divine qualities yet. We live in a state of separation from the world, in a state of I, a state of ego. And this ego inevitably blocks the divine oneness from us. And so earthly love, 1, conditional. I will love you if you are so and so. I want to see you this way. And even if you wish a person well 3 times, first ask, do they want to see themselves this way? If not, then trying to change them is not love, it is violence. 2. Earthly love is limited. I cannot love everyone, or in general, I can love only you. And you, by the way, must love me and me only. It's not a choice, you must. 3. Earthly love is finite, no guarantees. It can end at any moment. Earthly love is often not free. It follows the path of duty. It becomes a duty. The inability to love as God loves leads to suffering on the path of love. Strictly speaking, earthly love is not love in the true sense, in a sense of unity. Worldly love is usually an attachment. It is a deal of reciprocation. I will be this way if you will be that way. It is an expectation, conditioning, demands, and jealousy. It simply cannot happen without suffering. We love because earthly love, for all its imperfections, still has some features of divine love. It is crucial to bring earthly love closer to divine love. Our mission is to express the divine to the maximum extent possible here on earth, in the physical body, in separateness, in the I state, to bring heaven to earth. The most important thing is that the glow of divine love brings us happiness. To expand and increase this glow, we practice in life. We practice through relationships. Relationships are the best spiritual practice, and we are given simulators to learn divine love. Now, we will break down the 4 main types of simulators for real, quantum, divine love, so that you can realize where you are and what kind of love you are practicing. The first simulator of true love is relations with our karmic partners and close relatives. Connection with relatives, parents, brothers, sisters, and children exists simply as a given. And who are karmic partners? These are people with whom we are destined to live a shared destiny, to pass through common life lessons. You feel this unity, and there is nothing you can do. With relatives and karmic partners, you have a quantum connectedness of destiny and life lessons. As a result, you share yourself with them to a greater or lesser extent. You cannot do otherwise, but you constantly want to change and remake them. In relationships with karmic partners, people constantly want to change each other. Brothers try to alter their brothers. Parents try to change their children, and sometimes children try to change their parents. Karmic spouses also want to change each other. In these relationships, there is a certain unity of destiny and life lessons. And sure, there is love, but there is no unconditional love. Such a relationship is a training ground for unconditional love. How happier would people be if they just accepted each other for who they are? But it is so hard, so the simulator keeps running. As a result, tired of readjusting each other, people often become closer and learn acceptance. Close people accept each other and become genuinely close. Karmic spouses sometimes become soulmates. That is when a husband looks at his sleeping wife and thinks, how did I end up with this woman? At the same time, he's tucking the blanket to keep her warm. It's an interesting simulator of true love, isn't it? In addition to relationships, there are karmic lessons here. When for some reason, you are constantly returning to specific ways. For example, someone is not into accounting, but they work as an accountant all their lives. They try to quit, but to no avail. The chances are, it is a love simulator. You have to find a way to love accounting. And once you love it, some other path will open up. It's the same with karmic places. Why do I live here? I don't know. But it feels like I'm chained to this place. I wouldn't say I like it here, but thinking of leaving does not make me happy either. It may be another practice of acceptance and unconditional love. It's a very complex and challenging practice for true love. In any way, there is reason to be happy. We have a second simulator, and it is much more enjoyable, especially at first. The second simulator of true love is the relationship with your close ones. They are your sincere friends and loved ones. These are heartfelt, not karmic connections. Those people with whom you have the unity of fate and life lessons and a different degree of unity of the soul. That is why the state of love within your close ones is closer to divine love. Your close ones are here to experience at least part of the bliss of divine love. You want to change people who don't belong to close ones. So love becomes conditioned. But if it is your close ones, there's no need to change them. You can share yourself with this kind of people without any adjustments. And sharing yourself is unity. Why does it feel good to do things together? It's all about unity, whether you dissolve into your loved one, a beautiful landscape, or your favorite pastime. By giving yourself away, you become this loved one, this landscape, this business. And if there's love between a man and a woman, there is a merging, complementarity, and attraction of male and female energies. That is why it is so sweet and magical. Sex between a man and a woman is creating a physical unity. Sex is both a very physiological and a very transcendent act. The less love, the more the physiological component, and the more love, the more the transcendental component. People are engaged in love, although technically the act is the same. The feeling of another as a close one lies in a quantum unity of souls. This unity can sometimes be very, very deep and comprehensive. The phenomenon of soul mates or twin souls is just a quantum unity. After all, divine love is unconditional, because in unity, all conditions dissolve. It is when you feel the same way the other feels when you want for that someone the same things they want for themselves. That is why there are no conditions like, be this way and I will love you in return. Unconditional love is when you do not need anything from your loved one, when it just feels good that they are there. Those who have experienced it know what it is. This is indeed beautiful. Still, the question arises, why, in fact, is it a love simulator? If everything is so wonderful, what else is needed? Why, in love with a close one, everything is going well only at the beginning of your relationship? Because that feeling of your other, the sense of divine love, is delightful. Often, falling in love early in a relationship is just a mere glimmer of that being with a close one feeling, and the brighter the glow, the stronger the feeling of bliss experienced. It applies not to romantic relationships only. It's about friendships too. There is such a feeling of deep kinship between friends, and in that deep, pleasant feeling lies the danger. It's so strong and deep that you want to repeat it, and in general, I always want it to be like this. As a result, attachment to the other is created first. The source of happiness is seen in that other, but the truth is that the source of happiness is always inside you. It is not outside, it is not even in your loved one, and there is no need to make them responsible for your happiness. Secondly, there is a fear of not fitting in. What if they don't accept me as their close one? What if they do not love me? I won't be happy without that acceptance. With that in mind, one starts to change oneself for happiness' sake. Little by little, you change yourself. For her, for him. Becoming what, in your mind only, they want you to be. That's not all. Then, having changed quite a bit, you demand the same changes from the other. Well, because I made sacrifices for you, you owe me. It is time to pay me back. It is interesting to note that love begins as unconditional, divine, with accepting of others, and ends with a desire to change each other, just like the first karmic version. The love simulators are different but with the same outcome. The bliss of relationships with your close people is that you can be yourself with them. Stay as you are. If it is your other, your unity will not disappear. The beauty of love with your other is that it can be eternal. A relationship like that is a simulator of eternity and freedom. But this love will have a chance to become eternal only if it is free. And it will be free if you are free yourself and set your other free with no strings attached and remaking of yourself and the other. This is a simulator for true love. The next simulator is a complex and controversial topic, but we have an open-minded discussion, don't we? The third simulator of true love is relationships in various triangles, squares, and other love polygons. These relationships are usually very painful, filled with jealousy and suffering, and yet, the presence of these geometric figures in a relationship is a sign that love is boundless. Love is infinite because God's love extends to the whole world. I know this is a highly controversial topic, but I feel the truth of these words. Love is not confined to one person, just as God is confined to not one person. He does not love someone more or someone less. Love cannot be owned. It is free and boundless. And jealousy is always an attempt to own. If someone is jealous, their intention is to own. It applies not only to romantic relationships. There are very jealous friends. You must be friends with me only. Or children who seek to own their mother. You're my mom only. Why do love these triangles arise? Because God is reflected in different people. You can love one aspect of God in one human, and another would reflect in someone else. God is not always reflected in just one human. In no way is this a call for cheating or irresponsibility. I'm simply saying there are no known right or wrong solutions to love triangles. The corners of this structure can make different decisions based on their responsibility to themselves and the world, the voice of their heart and their dignity, and the understanding that love cannot be owned. It is limitless. I don't suggest judging or throwing stones because all love polygons are simulators of the limitlessness of love, where we learn not to possess love and not to possess one another. In this simulator of love, we learn to be faithful and responsible to ourselves. Finally, we have the fourth simulator. All of the simulators were challenging, but this one is perhaps the toughest. The fourth real love simulator is unrequited love. Anyone who has experienced it knows what a mighty trial of the soul it is. To give love unrequitedly, one must have an inexhaustible supply of unconditional, free, and boundless love. This kind of love is very close to the state of divine love. God's love is often unrequited too. God loves everyone, but not everyone loves God. Not everyone feels unity with God, although it is always there. It in no way hinders his love for each of us. Therefore, unrequited love can greatly elevate the human condition, if of course one can cope with its challenges. Not to give free rein to one's own ego, which is angry at the impossibility of possessing someone. People who have gone through the lessons of unrequited love are often better prepared for divine love. It is such a powerful simulator of real quantum love. I have delineated the types of divine love simulators as separate, but often they work combined. For example, a triangle, where on one side is a karmic partner, and on the other side is your close someone. Go figure out how to deal with it. Why do we need all this knowledge in our everyday life? We need it to answer the question, where does true quantum love live? If you look for divine love in all your relationships, you will find true love. If in all of your relationships you realize that you are on the path of knowing divine love, then life takes on a very different meaning and color. All the complex issues and obstacles of human relationships will not disappear, but your perspective will be completely different. Your state of mind will be completely different. True love lives in the depths of your heart. You can always look into your heart to fill your life with love. Do not be fooled by a phantom posing as love. It is a love rooted in the mind. There is genuine, true love, love of unity, love from the heart. Love from the mind is a false love. Knowing between these types of love is critical, so we do not deceive ourselves. There is no need to look for love from the mind. What do I mean by this? Love is always about giving, and at the same time receiving. In divine love, from the heart, you give and receive joy from it. You give for no reason, and you receive joy in return. It's not just about a relationship with a loved one. You give your time to your cause, and you get joy. You give your energy to your favorite place, and you get joy. In any case, giving is essential. Where there is no giving, where you do not share, there's no love. You give in love from the mind too, but you don't just give. You want things in return. A deal? Or you do it out of duty because it's the right thing to do, or out of sacrifice. It's a duty doubled in power. I'll sacrifice everything for her or him. In that case, there's no actual giving and getting joy out of it. If you give for nothing and it makes you happy, that's true love. If you give with calculation or out of a sense of duty, it is false. Love from the heart solely happens very rarely. Usually it's a combination. It's important to observe one's actions. What is my motivation for what I do? Do I love from the heart or the mind? The more you love from the heart, the easier and more joyful the relationship. And the more you love from the mind, the harder it is. Although on the surface you seem to be giving and you seem to love, don't look at how others love. Don't expect true love from others. What matters is how you love. How much of your love comes from the mind and how much comes from the heart? How much unconditional and how much conditional? What is the balance of freedom and limits you impose? How do you love? Because your kind of love will attract the same kind. By the laws of the universe. There's nothing else to it. Build the temple of your love, your oneness with the world. Create yourself, because what you create will be with you forever. With love to you, Darvetter, New World Project.